Yeah, I watched a lot of wrestling.
I watched heaps of it. Jeff Hardy was my favourite. And WrestleMania was coming out. There was 2 girls that was friends with in high school. And we became friends and I was like, oh, do you want to come to my house and we'll watch WrestleMania? Before WrestleMania, all this kind of stuff, I went to Kmart. I bought the Intercontinental Belt. I went into my bedroom. I was like, I'll be back in a second. I go into my bedroom and put it on. But I was way too scared to walk out because I was like, this is embarrassing. I go back into the lounge room. I sit down and wait like a half an hour. And then out of nowhere, I just oh, shit.
And you have it on.
And they were like, oh, wow. I was like,
The demons cry, yeah, we were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan.
Oh, welcome back to the Lionstone podcast, everyone. Once again, it is Matthew and Patrick, your 2 regular hosts. I don't know.
and followed by your host, Gretel Colleen. Do you know who Gretel Colleen is?
No.
Oh, shit. When Australian Idol, no, was it? No, it was Big Brother. Big Brother first launched. I'm pretty sure. The host was Gretel Colleen, and her name was Gretel Colleen.
Oh, right.
And you always used to be like, and your host, Gretel Colleen.
That's an unfortunate name, Gretel.
Yeah, Gretel. Just a side note, we might have a boy staffy coming to stay with us for a while at my house. So
Congratulations.
yeah, I know. I've always wanted a staffy. You know why?
They better say I always wanted a boy.
I've always wanted a boy. No, I've got a boy, Theo.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a staffy because we've got similar shaped heads. I feel like I can relate to them at a very deep level.
Thick necks.
No neck, just straight stomach.
Yeah, my sister's got a staffy.
I thought your sister was you were
My
gonna
sister's
say,
a staffy.
my sister's got no neck. Oh, so it's the day after Valentine's Day. It's a Hallmark holiday recovery period.
Yes.
I saw it on your Instagram story. You did like a nice spread of
I cooked a steak dinner.
and no, I meant a spread of candles, but I couldn't
Oh, yeah,
remember
candles.
the word,
yeah,
and I was
yeah,
going to
yeah.
call them flowers.
No, not flowers. Not flowers, candles.
Are they just the cheap tea lights from?
Yep. Yep, $6 for a pack of 30. You know how long it fucking took me to light all those candles?
How long?
Oh, about 5 minutes.
They got such a slow burn, a fast burn life on them too.
Yeah.
You're already halfway done, and then it's just like the cup.
Yeah, full of wax, and then I would try to move them to the center of the table so the dog didn't rip them all off the table.
Oh Jesus!
And then I spilt wax all over the table.
That's fucking fantastic.
Because when they're in the packet, the wicks can bent over, so you got to stand them all up. So I have to stand all the wicks up and then have to light them.
Where was Brie all this?
At work. At work. So I had about 2 hours to pull Valentine's Day together, and I think I did a pretty good fucking job.
How was the steak?
I cooked it. So she
Boot
said
leather.
she said it was pretty good. I fed mine to the dog, but
Did you? Why?
Yeah, I just wasn't hungry.
What?
So I had like 2 bites of it, and then I just cut it up, and he was sitting there fucking licking his lips. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get some steak for dinner, and then I did cheesy mashed potato. What's the first thing you do when you go to cook mashed potatoes? What's the first thing you do with the potatoes?
Peel them.
Did
you forget them?
I just cut everything up and chucked it in the pot, and then I got to the end, and I was like, these look funny, and I was mashing them, and then there's just like skin all through it. It probably would have tasted fine, but
Did you pull out the skins?
No, I just redid the whole thing.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
No,
mashed
it is
potato. It's
pulled
not
out
that
the
harder.
skin. What?
It's just mashed potato. It took me 15 minutes.
Mashing potatoes is some of my trauma from being a kid because my dad used to get me to mash the potatoes. Make sure the lumps are out. Mash. Make sure the lumps are out.
Did you put milk in yours?
Yeah, milk and butter.
Yeah, I didn't do the butter. I just did the milk.
Butter makes them real creamy.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all I had.
And that's how I got fat as a kid, actually. Butter.
Yeah, and that's what I did for Valentine's Day, I think. And then I got a gift card to the coffee shop we go to because I was going to pay for coffees in advance, like 3 weeks worth of coffees in advance.
For Brie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I was like, oh, they have gift cards. So I got one of those, and then I bought flights to Bali.
Yeah, there you go. What'd she get you?
Lego.
Ah, what set?
No. It's like the... she's like, do you have any Lord of the... She went to the Lego shop, and she's like, do you have any Lord of the Rings stuff? And he's like, yeah, it comes out in June. And it was going to be like $1,200. And I was like, do not spend that on fucking Lego, please, for the love of God.
Shit.
So she got me... They're called brickheads.
Yeah.
And they... I'm not recording the screen, but...
Let's have a look. 3 hours of pure black screen.
Brickhead
Lego.
Lord of the Rings.
It's been a while since we've used the computer.
Yeah, Chams, I'll send you a thing so you can edit it in. Brickhead's Lord of the Rings. But she got me this one,
Oh, yeah?
the Gandalf and the Balrog, and then
The what, sorry?
the Balrog,
I thought you said Balrog. I was like, oh, that's wrong.
and then Frodo and Gollum.
That doesn't look like Gollum. That looks like...
He's got the fish. He's got a fish. It's this one here, yeah, Brickheads.
Wait, go back to that Gollum for a second.
Yeah.
That looks like an old man, like with... It looks like Herbert the Pervert from Family Guy. It's me.
They have everything, but they have a bunch of them.
Do they have a Herbert the Pervert Lego?
They've got Aragorn and what's her name?
How long have you built it already or no?
No. I was saving it for the weekend. I was going to do it.
Oh.
I don't know how big they actually are.
I was going to say, how long do you reckon it'll take for you to build it?
I don't know.
There's a lot of bits in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't built Lego in years, and I'm sure if I follow the instructions, it's not really that difficult to do. But
You say that, and then you're going to get to the end and be like, why do I
Yeah.
have 6 pieces left over?
why has Frodo got no
Oops.
eyes?
Oops.
These are cool. They've got like,
Ghibli.
yeah.
Yeah, that's mad.
I might have to go. And then I was like, she was almost gonna buy me the $1,200 Lego set.
Oh, jeez.
Lord of the Rings Lego set. Let's Google that.
I used to work with a guy who liked Lego a lot
Mm.
and would spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on Lego, and he had a room in his house that was just all Lego.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It must be this one.
Must have been a virgin.
Oh yeah, the Battle of Helm's Deep. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. I feel like that's not the one though.
No. Just go on the Lego website
Maybe
and
the
see what
Black
comes
Gate.
out in July.
Oh yeah, true.
The Black Gate.
Priest is gonna listen to this and like they're fucking talking about Lego.
Yeah. You know why? Because Lego is really good for when you go into a build.
It's one of those episodes.
Get it?
Oh, I'll go into a build. Yeah, well
Get
done.
into a build.
Here you go. Yeah, a Rivendell.
Rivendell. I'm glad she didn't get you that one.
Nah, that one's
Pretty shit.
Yeah.
Actually, oh no.
Yeah, it's got Bilbo. And it's got Gandalf.
And it's got everyone, really.
It's got right.
Oh, there's what's her name in the elf in the
Arwen.
tower. Yeah. Jeez.
It's got.
Look at that roof.
Yeah, Lego's pretty sick.
Yeah, Lego is pretty cool.
Anyone who hates on Lego,
It doesn't have a long enough attention span.
no. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then we're going to Bali in May.
Yeah, mad.
I don't know how long for. I just booked flights there.
One-way flights.
Yeah.
Online coach.
That's the online coach laptop life.
Laptop living.
No, that's the exact opposite of online coaching life. Literally,
It's actually a good point, actually. The people who do online coaching and like live from a laptop live a very different lifestyle than yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I suppose they work for themselves.
That's very true.
They're
You
not
are-
part of a larger business.
Yeah, online coaching is a part of your role.
Mm. Yes, it is. It is. I did. I online coached while I was in Thailand.
Yeah.
That was. I think it was more just annoying because of the time zone differences.
Yeah.
Like people would message me. I think they're 6 hours ahead in Thailand or behind or something. So
behind.
So I was 6 hours behind everyone's messages, and it was just.
Yeah,
it was convoluted, but I mean. I suppose if someone lives in Bali and you sign up for an online coach, like you expect that from the beginning.
Yeah, you know it from the standard has been met.
Yeah. And then I did our programming course while I was there too.
Did you?
Mm.
What programming course?
The one we did for 12 weeks that you were literally on.
Oh.
This
Yeah,
is
that was
before-
actually really good.
That was before you. that was
That was
before you
before I
worked
was
for us.
Lionstone
Yeah,
coach.
yeah, yeah.
I remember that. It was Monday nights. And
Yeah.
then the Q&A that
Friday
I went
nights.
to never. It was a
mate.
Friday night.
Thanks.
Well, on a Friday night.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
Think forward here. You got
Yeah.
people on the worst day and the best day of the week. Monday.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Friday.
Oh well, it is what it is. It's done now.
It is what it is. It's done now.
It's
Isn't that going to be coming out soon?
yes, that's the
Ooh,
plan for
a little
this week.
teaser for you.
I believe.
Is that programming course?
Well, actually, I can't say this week because I don't know when this episode's going out because we're ahead now.
It may already be out.
It may already be out,
on all channels.
or it may not be yet. I don't know.
It also may not be.
We'll see.
Depends what Monday.com says.
Yes, it is. Depends when the deadline is. But yeah, I'm going to Bali in May, so I'm going to be.
Why Bali?
Why
not Japan?
Cost was the same, give or take.
Oh, fuck.
And I have no desire to get lean for Japan.
Oh, so you're using it as an ulterior motive.
Well, yeah, and I've got a deposit for tattoos already there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to
How do you
go
have a deposit for tattoos already?
because I was supposed to go ages ago and I cancelled the trip because of
Right.
COVID. And then I already paid my like $600 deposit.
What are you getting?
What was I going to get? I think I was going to get my hand done while I was there. but then I ended up doing that in Thailand. So I'll get this hand done and I'll maybe finish this arm.
Yeah. What are you going to get on there?
No idea. I'll make it up on the day.
Just want tattoos to look cool, to be honest.
Yeah, tough stickers,
What
mate.
does this one mean? This one means I wanted it on the day.
Yeah, they've pretty much all been like that, I think.
This
This one, Reese peer pressured me into.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, he didn't peer pressure me into the
Is
design.
it Socrates?
No, it's Hercules.
Oh.
Why the fuck
I would
would
have
I
been,
get
been
Socrates?
so impressed if it was Socrates.
No, that's Poseidon.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's,
I've never looked at these.
that's Medusa.
Oh, that is Medusa.
That's my favourite one out of all of them.
Yeah,
And then-
why didn't you get that one at the front and center?
because I got them all done at different times.
And then you've got the Versace logo on your arm.
Yeah, that's it. And then I've got
Wait, show me
Zeus.
that. Oh, Zeus. Oh, okay, so I never, ever, ever questioned what your tattoos were.
Oh.
And now I've realised they're an ancient Greek mythology sleeve.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, they're all done at different times. So that one was done first. Then I got this one and this one done, and then I got this one done in a separate sitting.
Did that Medusa hurt like shit?
High as a kite. Don't remember.
What? What do you mean?
Well, numbing cream and then lots of tramadol.
And what's tramadol?
Whatever the one down from Endone is.
Oh, okay.
They just sell it in tablets at the tattoo shop there.
Right.
Like 50 cents a tablet.
Yeah.
I got that one done and then this skull done on the same day, and then I got my hand done.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
That's a big sit.
Yeah, 8 hours or something like that.
Well, 8 hours for both of those is not that.
No,
not
it wasn't.
that bad.
No, it's not long at all. No. So I'll probably try and get all this done in one trip and maybe my hand. We'll see.
I know things are going really well in life because I haven't had the compulsion to get a tattoo recently.
Yeah.
The pain of the tattoo is more than the pain of whatever's going through at the time.
I don't think they hurt that much. The only bit that really hurt.
You were high on endone. You can't say that.
Not for my hand, I wasn't.
Yeah, well.
And there's more bone in my hand than there is.
Yeah, no, I found the fleshy pit of my inner arm the worst in here.
Yeah.
It's not even
Did I
that
get that
bad.
bit
You
done?
had the whole thing though.
No, I don't
Ugh.
actually have that bit. It goes up into my armpit though,
Shit.
and that sucked pretty bad.
Vibrating your shoulder blade.
Yeah, up here was all sunburnt when I got the sundial done.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and I was hungover too.
I've got the
But-
shivers.
Hand, I reckon, out of all of them, was probably,
The worst because you weren't high.
yeah. Which one wasn't I high for? I say high like I'm fucking
junkie.
like I do this all the time, but
Are they the only tattoos you have?
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Just your arms.
hmm
So when you stand naked in the mirror,
It looks like I got sleeves on.
it's looking like Jeff Hardy.
That's exactly what I was thinking. What I'll do is I'll get my torso done so it looks like I'm wearing a shirt at all
Man,
times.
my TikTok right now is full of wrestling. Like old school like wrestling. The Royal Rumble, every five videos is Royal Rumble. And I've seen the same videos over and over again. I'm like, who's next?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know how we got on this.
Wrestling is anime for rednecks.
Yeah, I watched a lot of wrestling.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you smell like a wrestling guy.
That's it.
I watched heaps of it. I have a really cringe story about wrestling.
Oh yeah, here we go. I'll tell you mine. You go first.
I've got
You go first.
two.
Yeah, go.
So, back in the day, I liked wrestling.
Hang
a
on,
lot.
before we go into it, how old were you when
Why
you found
did you
out?
ask that? It's not a good question to ask. Year 10 or year 9, year 10.
How old were you then?
Fuck. Year 9.
What, like 13?
Nah, like have to be like 14 or 15.
Okay, cool.
Would have been 14 or 15.
Yeah. When you found out it was not real?
What?
When you found out wrestling was fake?
It's fake.
I'll tell you
I
my
knew
story.
it was fake from the beginning. I always knew.
Okay,
it was fake.
yeah, I didn't.
So Jeff Hardy was my favorite.
Yeah,
of
me
course.
too. Mhm.
And at the time, he was the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah. Some made up arbitrary champion.
And WrestleMania was coming out.
Yeah.
Right. So there was two girls that I was friends with in high school, and they became friends with me because one day I knew they liked wrestling, right? And the theme song from SmackDown, it was whoa, never again, whoa, never give up. I just wanna be loved. And after school, this isn't even the cringe part, but it's still cringe. And after school one day, I just played it on my phone at the lockers. Whoa, never give me in. And they were like, oh, it's the wrestling song. I was like, do you like wrestling? I already knew. And they were like, yeah. I was like, and I talked to them for ages about it. And I was like, oh, this is great, blah, 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 talking to them about it. Anyway, WrestleMania was coming. And we became friends. And I was like, oh, do you want to come to my house and we'll watch WrestleMania? And they were like, yeah, great. They're like, we get it for free. Do you want to come to our house? I was like, nah, come to my house because I was scared to go to their house. I later found out I should have gone to their house. They had a theatre.
Yeah.
And then they come to my house and realize I'm poor. No, I wasn't poor. But compared to them, poor.
Yeah.
So I bought WrestleMania. It's like $70. My mum's like, what are you buying? I was like, a Foxtel. And so I knew before WrestleMania, all this kind of stuff, I went to Kmart. I bought the Intercontinental belt.
You're a loser. Chams, you better clip all of this.
And I bought the belt, and halfway through WrestleMania, before Jeff was wrestling, I'm pretty sure he was in that. Anyway, I went into my bedroom. I was like, I'll be back in a second. I go into my bedroom and put it on, but I was way too scared to walk out because I was like, this is embarrassing. Walking past my family, then to go into the lounge room where we were watching wrestling. And I was like, I want to wear it. Like I just got into this headset, the headspace that I was like, I need to wear it. Anyway, because back in the old ones, they didn't clip in. They were cheap. They were like $30. So they were just like, you couldn't actually wear them. So I got mum to put a rubber band around it. And it was hanging on by a thread. Anyway, put my t-shirt over it.
Oh, God.
I go back into the lounge room. I sit down and wait like a half an hour. And then out of nowhere, I just pull on my shirt.
And you have it on.
And they were like, oh, wow. I was like, it gets worse.
Oh, my God.
Before that, I was like, I really want to impress them because they were twins, right?
Yeah.
And I liked both of them
Oh, yeah.
at different times. And I wanted to impress him. So just before that, my mum had surgery and she had these compression leg socks.
I already know. I know exactly what you did.
Help me make the Jeff Hardy sleeves.
Yeah, I know exactly
And
what
we
you
got
did.
another pair of like leggings and did the same thing and put it over. And then again, I left, went into my bedroom, put my sleeves on and walked back out. And I can now see why I used to get bullied in high school. And I wore those sleeves for a while, and it was worse because I was an emo kid at the time, and I was just like, I had forgotten about that until right now. And yeah,
Wow.
I wore that, and we ended up becoming good friends, the girls that I was talking about, and they are no longer my friends.
Oh, man, that's pretty...
I know. I look back and I was like, oh, getting bullied as a kid was tough, but I'm glad it happened because it helped me grow and blah, 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 blah. I needed to get bullied.
A bit of it was self-inflicted.
Oh, yeah, but no shit. I was fucking walking around like Jeff Hardy.
Oh, man. Well, the thing
I was
is...
doing swanton bombs off shit. And
I had a kid that lived down the street that we became friends and we both started watching wrestling. So we would like do it like on the trampoline like normal kids would. And then I had the actual sleeves from like the WWE shop. I had he's the logo, the necklace.
I had that too. I bought it. I went live and bought it there.
Oh God, I didn't do that. I just got it for Christmas.
A t-shirt too.
I had a beach towel too.
I had a bathtub.
No, yeah, Jeff Hardy, but I had the Hardy Boys bath towel. But when I found out wrestling was fake, I cried.
Oh really?
Yeah, I would have been like 13 or 14.
Oh,
so.
shit.
But nowhere near as cringe stories as that.
I in year 7 I liked it as well, and I had like. When I started in year 7, right? I set myself up for failure in high school to begin with. When I started in year 7, they were like, you get a locker, blah, 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 blah.
What were the posts on the inside of your locker?
Sorry?
What were the posters on the inside of your locker?
Getting there. So they said, if you want to put in like posters on the inside of your locker, you're allowed to, that's fine. And I was like, yo, that's sick. I'm going to put wrestling ones on there because I love wrestling. So I put like John Cena and like The Undertaker and all this kind of stuff. And I opened my locker one day, and this kid who went on to bully me for a long time saw his prey sitting there, and he goes, why have you got half-naked dudes in your locker? And I said, it's John Cena. And he was like, are you gay? And at the time, I was like, I don't know if I am or if I'm not. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but back then, we're talking 15 years ago.
And how old were you?
I was like 12.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I was like, what does gay mean? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got so upset. I ripped him down and all this kind of stuff. And then he just made fun of me forever. And he just was convinced that I was gay. And I was like, this is a good part of this story. So that happened, right? And in year 7, early on is when we would go on camp.
Yeah,
right? We would do camp really early so you can make friends. Didn't make friends, made enemies. Anyway, on the bus, it got like people made up this thing that me and this kid were going to fight. And I was like, fuck, I haven't fought anyone ever. He's got ADHD. He's going to fuck me up.
Yeah.
Little did they know I had it too.
It's like the superpowers.
Superpower. Yeah, I know. Fucking immovable object meets an unstoppable force. Anyway, so we get to this fucking Kangarooby, it was called. I just remembered that. And we get into the room and all the boys from my class are there. And everyone was like lined the bunks because there's bunks on the side of the room. And they lined it with like a stadium. And I was like, fuck, I'm standing in the middle. And it's like, fight. I was like, fuck. Anyway, in my head, the lights were on.
Oh, God.
The WrestleMania sign is on the corner. No. And I was like, well, if we're going to fight, shut the door. And everyone was like, ooh. I was like, I was just being smart. And I was like, I know I can't fight him, but I need to get a leg up on him.
Yeah. So
he turns around to go shut the door. As he closes the door, I run up and spear him into the door. I don't know, I've just heard in my head, Edge with the spear. Anyway, so I speared him into the door, nothing. Then I was like, oh, wrestling's fake. So I get him on the ground and I was like, his leg's free. So I get him in the Kurt Angle ankle lock with his ankle back to him. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, tap. And then he picks me up. He stands up because I wasn't doing anything. Grabs me by the neck and just starts choking the shit out of me. With his arm around my neck, I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm like seeing stars, starting to pass out. Then people jump in and grab him off me.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most embarrassing and confronting days of my life because I realized wrestling wasn't real.
Wow, okay. Well, at least I didn't find out that way. I just got told by my dad.
Your dad was the one actually strangling me.
Oh, fuck.
So, yeah, there's some good stories about wrestling in my time. And no wonder my fucking TikTok's all about it because it knows. It smells it.
Yeah.
He got bullied for it.
You're a big wrestling fan. Wrestling.
Yeah. Wrestling.
Yeah. I sometimes go back and watch it as I watched this when I was a kid. This is pretty cool. And you just look at it now and it's like the acting in it is like the same level of porn. It's like porn. It's shit. There are some that just can't hack it.
There's actually some actors who do both.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it used to be real fun, like with Stone Cold and The Rock and all that kind of stuff. And it was like so outlandish that it was real.
Yeah.
And it was like when it was those guys, it was like an art. Like they would take it so seriously and then all that kind of shit. And now these days, I'm just like, I don't really know what you guys are talking about.
It's all PC'd up now too. There's no blood anymore. They can't cut, like, you know, they used to do the blading stuff where they'd like get a razor and cut the head so if you hit them, blood would go everywhere. Yeah, you can't do that anymore now. You get fined. And like they hardly any of them use drugs anymore. So you have all these big fucking roided up dudes running around.
Yeah, you fucking don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of roided up dudes, that set unrealistic expectations for me for physiques from a very young age. Because I saw dudes like John Cena, I was like, he's natural.
Yeah, the WWE wellness program. Yeah, real natural.
World Wrestling Federation untested.
Yeah,
those guys are insane. But that's true. Like I did look at those guys and I'm like, oh, that's muscle. That's what people who go to the gym look like. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to bring this fucking back to the gym. No. Let's go back to wrestling.
Let's go back to wrestling.
So yeah, I obviously had a journey with that as a teenager. And it didn't also help that I rode scooters as well.
I rode scooters.
Scooters were fucking fun.
I don't feel like I nearly got as bullied as hard as you did. There was some kids that picked on me, but it was like a year. And I like WWE and rode scooters. I think there's a common denominator here.
Yeah, I'm the fuckwit. So in year 7 was the worst. So like it started off. I just realized it started with wrestling. I didn't ride scooters in year 7. I just was a loser. Like,
yeah, he became an ultra loser by riding
ultra
scooters.
loser. Apparently. So like from there, I just posed myself as an easy target to him. Like from that, because I got upset.
Oh, you were one of them kids.
I was like, why are you making fun of me? I was like, what did I do? I just like wrestling.
Yeah.
And from there, like, it just went downhill because, like, that's how bullies work, right? They just pick their target who gives them the most reaction. And I gave heaps of reactions. And, like, from there, it got pretty bad to a point where, like, this kid was, like, calling me and being like, Matt, you're gay, suck my balls. And I was like, he was at a party that I wasn't invited to.
I've ever heard.
That actual sentence is stuck in my head from when I was a kid. I can hear him saying it on my old Nokia slide phone. The distorted, Matt, you go, suck my balls. And suck everyone else's balls here and all the girls because they're all dogs. That is the exact sentence that was said to me on a Saturday night in year 7. And you know what I did the next morning?
Suck these balls.
No. I said, well, I showed my mum and mum was like, this isn't good enough. And I was like,
man.
I've told the school they don't do anything. And she was like, let's call our friend. I was like, all right. So we have a friend who's a detective.
Yeah, right.
So we call him and I'm going to change his name because he's still a detective. I'm going to call him Ben.
Yeah, right.
Call Ben. His name's not actually Ben, by the way. And we say, Ben, Matt's getting bullied at school. It's by this guy. What can we do? He's like, leave it with me. The next day, we get a phone call from him. You're like, sorted with, he won't fuck with him anymore. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. As it turns out, Ben, undercover, took, he was dressed in undercover, took 2 clothed detectives to this kid's house, knocked on his door and asked to speak to him. Said, can we speak to blah, blah, blah. And the mum's just shat herself and gone, what's he done? And she's like, he was like, you might want to be present for this as well. They march him into the lounge room. They sit him down and they say, there's an investigation going on into his behavior towards someone at school. Me.
Yeah.
And he, I think he fesses up and he goes, is it Matt Lambourne? And they were just like, something along the lines of, we didn't have a name, but now we do. So you want to tell us about it? And anyway, like they just went for it and scared the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And it was kind of sad because the mum turns around to the police and once he's left the room and is like, we don't know what to do with him. Like he's so ADHD. He's so like does all of the wrong things. Yeah. We don't know how to control him. Anyway, I get to school on Monday, walk in. My usual plethora of assaults doesn't happen. And I was like, oh shit. I'm free. Just fucking put my wrestling photos back on again. So this kid didn't fuck with me for the rest of the time. The next year, year 8, we mildly became friends. Yeah, right. And I was like, oh, you're fine.
Because you sent a task force of police and detective to
exactly, and it just fucked him up. No, I didn't fuck him up. So then a couple...
They're bashing the kid up.
A couple years later, so I leave high school, right?
Man.
2 years later, I walk past him in a street, and this is when I just started training. And I was like, you're a skinny runt. I'm big. If you do anything, I can probably fight you now. Yeah. And anyway, just walks straight past me, doesn't even recognize me. I was like, oh, whatever. 2 years later, he's in jail. Oh. Yeah.
What'd he do?
It's probably not a good one to...
tell me after, I want to know now.
Good one to say.
Oh, bad person.
Yeah, bad person.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
Interesting.
Picked him from day one. And now he's really involved with the police. Yeah. They bring up his criminal record. Was a bully. Ha! Gotcha.
Do you reckon... I'm sure that's highly illegal what Ben went and did.
Absolutely.
We are in the car, boys. Let's go. We gotta go.
Absolutely, it is. And like, he just rocked up to his house. No warrant. Nothing. No actual case. No, nothing that's been created against him.
Yeah.
Just showed up at his house with the 2 guys on duty.
Yeah,
and
right.
They're probably like, boss, where are we going? Suddenly they're American Colombians. Boss, where are we going? Oh, we're just going to go visit a young boy. So yeah, that's a 100% factual story.
That's I don't have any stories like that.
I got bullied hard as a kid.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, you sent the police to his house.
Yeah.
That's probably before they had all the laws about bullying and cyberbullying and stuff
well,
like that.
it was... Cyberbullying came in whilst I was at high school. Like, in year 7, we didn't know what cyberbullying was.
Yeah, right.
We all just had Nokia 5220s.
Yeah.
And used to throw them at each other.
Matt, you sucked my balls.
Yeah, literally. But we would get text messages and people would like text, but no one would bully anyone because you'd only have like $20 worth of credit. So you didn't want to burn through your credit to bully someone. You wanted to like try and message a girl to meet up.
Is that when did you still have Harold at school then? The drug
Oh,
giraffe?
yeah, we had Harold in grade 6.
Yeah.
So like cyberbullying came in more so in like year 9, year 10 when the first iPod Touch came out. So like, sorry, iPod, I remember the iPod Touch, but the iPhone came out and the iPod Touch, and then when they finally made it to Australia, that's when people could like readily access the internet at school.
Yeah, right.
And outside of school, because like, man, back in the day, from like year 7 to year 10, I was on MSN and I was on RuneScape. Like there was no chance for me to get cyberbullied. I also went on Habbo Hotel a couple of times.
Pool's closed.
Oh no. Always.
Pool's closed due to AIDS. It's one of the best memes ever.
So like it wasn't a thing. And to be honest, man, if it was a thing, I would have got fucked up.
Yeah.
I would have been cyberbullied to shit. They would have gone onto my MySpace page and seen the fucking Disturbed theme song and like the HTML that's all flashing with the 10,000 fists there. I'd bully him. So like, yeah, no, 100%. And so that progression of technology coming into schools, people did get we just called it bullying.
Yeah.
But it would be a combination of two. It wouldn't just be online.
Yeah.
It would be like in person and like.
I suppose when I was at high school, that's more prevalent, cyberbullying.
Yeah, we were
I never did any cyberbullying. I got cyberbullied.
My mum just goes, just shut the computer or just like turn it off, disconnect from the dial-up.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good. That's probably more. Yeah. I think the only form of cyberbullying I ever had was I posted on my Facebook wall that Hilltop Hoods were great, and some kid said, "No, they fucking suck."
That's not cyberbullying.
No, it's not.
That's an opinion.
That's an opinion. Yeah, but I felt offended by it. Yeah.
Hilltop.
No, I don't think I ever was.
In the back of the bar.
I think there was one kid that kind of bullied me for a bit, but he's all right now.
Yeah. See, there was that one, and then there was like year 10. I probably got some more flack.
Yeah.
But what I thought was bullying was one thing, and what actually was bullying was probably another. Like these guys were just fucking with me. Like I was in year 10. We had this class, right? And you could do like, it was called Steam and Flight. Right, it was pretty cool. It was
Steam and Flight.
Steam and Flight. So the first half of the semester,
Steam.
With Steam, you'd build a steam engine. So we built a steam engine.
Right. I was like, what? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then the second half was Flight. So we built a rocket.
That's pretty cool.
We actually like got a cube and sanded it back to make the tip of the rocket and the fuselage and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
cool.
we made the fuse and all that kind of stuff. At the end, we shot them up. Anyway. Shot him up. That's not.
Matt was shooting up at school.
Yeah. So these guys used to be like, "Oh, Matt, like this was going through the times when people was having their first kiss and all that kind of stuff."
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, have you had your first kiss?" I'm like, "Yeah." Hadn't. They were like, "Oh, like what have you done?" I was like, "Oh yeah, the whole thing." And they were like, "Oh, really?" And they were fucking with me.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Who with?" I was like, "She doesn't go to this school."
One of those fucking people.
I didn't realize that was such a thing. Be like, she doesn't go to this school. Oh, okay. What school does she go to? Oh, I met her. Where? Oh, on holiday. Where? Oh, Deniliquin, which is New South Wales.
Yeah.
And it's where I just got back from holiday. And they were like, "What's her name?" I was like, "Anne."
What, she like 60?
So like I just made up shit on the spot. And then they would fuck with me because they knew I was bullying. They were like, "Oh, how's Anne?" All this kind of shit. Oh, well, I don't remember.
I think I don't know if that's necessarily bullying.
No, well, it made me upset. And I was like, "Why are they bullying me?"
Yeah.
I was like, "My fault."
Yeah,
It's my fault.
You set yourself up for it.
So like there was a bit of that and then a bit of back and forth with the other guys. And then by year 11 and year 12, I got fat. So no one could really, like I got bigger. So no one could really fuck with me. But yeah, like it was never to a point where I was getting beat up and shit like that. Yeah. Except for year 7. When
Did you get bashed up?
No, the angle lock didn't work.
The fight, yeah. I never been in a fight, I don't think, ever. Literally ever. There was one kid that, so funny enough, I did a concert with him a couple of weeks ago.
What?
Yeah. We're still friends. And it was like, it was PE and we were playing soccer. It was like just on the basketball course, they set the goals up and stuff like that and whatever. And he was goalie and he was big for year 8 or whatever it was. And I was like, I can fucking take him. looking back at it, he would have stomped the shit out of me. But because I was the smaller kid, like we were pushing each other, teacher told him off, not me.
Gotcha, bitch. There was times when in high school where there would be fights. Right, fights were a big thing in my high school. I had a big high school, like over 1,000 kids.
Yeah.
So
similar,
when there would be a fight, you would see the whole school just rush to wherever it is, right? And I remember a couple of times there was one kid who tended to get in fights a lot, and he would fuck people up. He would fuck people up. Like, had really good hands on him. And I would always just like talk. Like, we'd be in the same class sometimes. And I'd talk to him about it. I'd be like, oh, I saw you punching on at lunchtime like that. Like, you were really good at that. He's like, yeah, whatever. Like, he didn't really care. And I was just doing it so he didn't end up punching me in the head one day, which I never got into any fights like that. But I was just like, I was so fascinated by the fact that these guys were just throwing hands. I remember there was this one time, right? We had this teacher who always wore this grey suit. And he was Jewish, so he had a cap.
Yeah, yarmulke.
A yarmulke, yeah. And one day, this kid was in a fight, and he had a flask in his hand, like a coffee flask, because it was middle of winter.
Yeah.
So he had this coffee flask wrapped around his knuckles, like brass knuckles, like the handle.
Jesus Christ.
He goes up to this guy who's 2 years higher than him in school, and they throw down, and he clocks him with the coffee flask. And you see this teacher who's short on these like mobile phone recordings, right?
Yeah.
And like, so it's tiny. It's like 2x2. Anyway, you see this teacher flying out of nowhere. He just like looked like a Dementor in this grey suit going, oh, and his fucking yarmulke goes, what? And flies off in the distance. And I was like, holy shit. He tries to get between them, but these guys are massive.
Yeah.
And he's just like trying to separate them. And I just remember seeing that on the phone, and everyone was sending that like video around to people. And I was like, fuck, the good old days.
Yeah. I don't think my school had any fights like that. There were like a couple like little fights, but the one I remember the most was we were on camp. Similar situation.
Oh no!
We went to what's it called? Beechworth. You have the big asylum there.
I didn't know that.
Beechworth Asylum. They do ghost tours in there and shit like that.
Spooky.
Yeah, it fucking was. For like I was like 12 or 13, and we went.
Still would be spooky.
Still would be spooky now. Maybe that's what Reese and I should do for a video. So my school had 2 campuses. They had like my primary school. So we would go on camp as a joint campus just because there were too many kids and it was just easier to line up timetables. So we went to Beechworth. We went on a ghost tour, and one of my mates, we went into a cell, and it was one of those tours where they all dressed up in like the old timey stuff, and like he had like the top hat and the coat
Sovereign
on.
Hill-esque.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
But so we went into this cell in the basement of this asylum. We're sitting in there, and it was maybe like 40 of us. It was like in a cramped room, and they had a bed. So 3 kids sat on the bed just on the edge of it while the guy spoke, and there was a gap of like this big between one of the kids and this guy. I don't know if he was on the spectrum or not, but he wasn't like all there. He decided to try and sit in between the kids, and just cracked one of my mates in the face with an elbow. So when we're in this ghost tour in the pitch black, he stands up and just punches the kid straight in the head, and we just hear a in the pitch black, and then the guy with the talking has a cane, just smacks my mate with a cane and makes him go stand outside in the darkness by himself in the hallway.
Fuck?
Yeah.
You just smacked him with a cane?
He smacked him with a cane.
Holy shit.
Sent him outside, and then
they really are embodying the old school there.
Yeah, that was spooky. I don't remember much of that camp. We went on like horse riding and stuff like that too, but I don't know what the fuck is going on this episode. But
one more camp story.
Yeah, go tell me the camp story.
So in grade 6, right? Camp Coonawarra, right? And anyway, I loved fishing. My dad and I used to go fishing. And at Camp Coonawarra, it was optional. You could go fishing in the morning, any morning you wanted at 6 a.m. if you had your own shit, right? And I'd gone fishing and I'd got tangled in my wires because I didn't know how to fish properly. My dad would always do it, and I'd be like, ha ha. Real idiot. Dad would just unhook everything. Anyway, I got my fishing wire tangled and all this shit, and I was sitting out the front of my room, and I needed a knife, and I didn't have a knife. And obviously the teachers weren't going to give me a knife because who would you give a grade 6 a knife, right? Yeah. So I was sitting there like trying to untangle it, getting upset. And I was like, fuck, everyone's going to come out and they're going to see. They're going to ask me, how was your fishing? And you didn't catch anything and blah, blah, blah. Except maybe an eel. And this kid walks past. I remember it so clearly. He's a little bit shady. He ended up being friends with the guy who punched the other guy.
Oh, yeah.
So he comes up, he walks past. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just awake early. I was like, oh. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just trying to untangle this fishing line that's stuck in my fishing rod, but I need a knife. He looks at me, looks around, and he just like goes into his back pocket and pulls out a pocket knife. And he goes, "Don't tell anyone." And I was like, okay. So I like picked out what I needed to pick out, gave it back, and he's like, "No worries," and just put it back in his pocket. And I was like, "All right, no worries." Anyway, a couple like hours later, I was like, "This motherfucker's walking around grade 6 camp with a knife, and no one knows." And I wasn't ratting him out.
No, because you stick the knife in you.
Fuck that.
Yeah, right.
Make friends with your enemies. Keep them close.
I don't know if we had any knife story.
No, there was like that was the only time I saw a knife like around, and there was probably a couple of other times where people thought they had knives, but they were just fucking bullshit. My area was like, you either fought with your hands or you didn't fight at all.
Yeah.
Or some people fought with their feet and they got fucked up. They tried to kick. You don't try and kick in a street fight unless you're on the ground.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Never been in a street fight, so
neither have I. I've just
not really
watched a lot
information
of videos on Nokia 6220s.
Have you you know Bass Rutten?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched his like How to Win a Bar Fight series?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's so fucked up. It's like it's shit that would like you would beat the guy up, but you would get put in jail for it.
Yeah, well, that's not winning, then, is it?
he's like standing to the camera and he's like he's got like I think he had like a glass or a knife in his hand, like cupped in his hand like that, and he's standing there real awkward. He's like, "You didn't see this knife in my hand or this glass." And then he's like, if a guy came out, you could smash it over his head, then gouge him in the eyes, and then kick him in the nuts, and it's like smash his head into the corner of the table, just like all this stuff.
I feel like Americans have a big fighting culture, especially like I watch Yellowstone. They fight a lot in that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that it's not the truth because it's built off something. But even then, like in movies, all that kind of stuff, like if you bump into someone in a bar, they're going to town.
Yeah.
And whereas I've bumped into people in a bar here.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah,
Split your drink. I'll get you another one.
Yeah.
Like, sure, there's times when people are like, "What are you looking at?" I was like, "Fucking, you've got nice eyes." And they'd just be like, "What?" I'd be like, "See ya." I run away. Oh, Jesus.
This is what it is.
This is lethal self-defense. That's a heel hook.
Hello and welcome to Bass Rutten's lethal street fighting self-defense system. Let me tell you first that I've been around. I've been a bouncer for many, many years, and I've been fighting in the ring, as you know. So I know my things. Now, I was standing like this and talking to the guy, and suddenly, boom, a headbutt. Bang, follow up with a headbutt. Boom, knee to the head. And look what we got here. Smack his face. Now, this is a very dangerous weapon right here. This is where they put the receipts on. Boom, right elbow, bang, right straight. Maybe now the headbutt comes. Knee to the face, elbow to the groin. Grab him. Look, sir, I really don't want anything of this. And I go, whoop, like this. And I slit your throat, and it's over and out. Bang, right elbow, boom, left straight.
This guy's a really good
kick
actor.
to the head, boom.
He's got him in a Kimura.
Bang, 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 boom. Stab his own knife here in the liver. Drop, boom.
Oh my
God.
God.
Sorry. Bang, bang, bang. No, I'm not.
Shit.
Bang,
Bang, bang, bang.
don't you ever do this.
The Corona bottle just falls off and smashes.
Family, you got my blessing. Take him out.
You've got my blasting. Take him out.
And I got that from Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor from California.
How old is that?
I have no idea.
Can we find out how old that is?
Yeah, Bass Rutten.
Bass Rutten. If you don't know who that is, have a quick Google.
Rutten lethal self-defense. I'll send you all this stuff, Chams, to edit in.
Oh, yeah, can people hear us?
Yeah, people can hear this. Yeah.
Can they hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Hearing that.
Well, it's just test. I assume so. Yeah.
Lethal.
Should come up on the thinger. Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah, mad.
Self-defense release date.
Man,
Release.
do you watch UFC at all?
I watched 2003, November 6, 2003. Yeah, I've watched it before.
Okay.
I don't watch it religiously. I don't know much about it, but I do enjoy watching it when it's like mainly the vicious fights where people just fucking kick the shit out of each other.
Is that a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer that just came out?
I have no idea.
It has the guy from fucking...
Oh, this is another one. It's got GSP in it.
Bing!
Ding dong, ding dong.
Oh, this is a sketch.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Bang, 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 dang, dong. Try to find a rhythm and have some fun.
I don't know if it is.
A few tips for street fighting. First of all, don't street fight.
That's the best.
First tip, run the way.
And once it's absolutely
Oh.
impossible.
Bass Rutten teaches Joey Diaz how to take a punch. Listen here, cocksucker. I ain't taking no punches. I'm hitting punches, I'm throwing people, and I'm fucking them up. And you won't go do dick about it.
Look threatening at all, but I got all my defenses here. And if I step back with my right foot, now I'm almost in the fighting stance as well. I can block with here. I got a punch coming. I got an elbow. I can stop a headbutt. I can deliver myself a headbutt. You see, nice and relaxed. Now, needless to say, that all the things that I'm going to show you are not really detailed. So don't think that, oh, I see it once and I can do it. No, you're really going to have to take some class.
Saying you need to take
wanna
classes
put
on
this
how to fuck
in your
people up in a
system
street
over
fight.
and over again so that it becomes second nature, because there's a lot to think about. All the little nuances,
GSP
how
into
to
it
hold
already.
a hand instead of a wrist, because here the arm can move. Here I stop the arm from moving. All these little
So
things.
why don't he talk about this in his other?
Yeah,
I'm sure this would be more.
Use
Oh,
the
here we go. Let's get to the
While
demonstration.
you're talking, boom, 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 there's the head, but that's the distraction. Grab the neck, knee in the groin, knee to the face, knee to the face, bell. And this works really well. Just slam him against.
That would just get you put in jail.
Bartender's standing there like, oh, it was in
Oh,
paid.
this happens all the time.
This is a paid gig.
He's grabbing me. We're sitting here. This is just to show you can do more things. We're breaking the grip.
just going to a bar and bash up all the regular people.
Beat up regular people. You want to do this too. Anyway, so UFC on the weekend. Alexander Volkanovski.
I know who that is. He's
Australian guy.
Israel Adesanya's mate. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's the only person I know.
Alexander Volkanovski has been the pound for pound number one in the world, right? And he was fighting Islam Makhachev, who's the pound for pound number two, right?
Yeah.
And he's a weight class up, both champions. Alexander was going up to fight him, and like everyone was like, Islam's going to take him down, just going to do the Russian thing, beat him up anyway, like Khabib, all that kind of shit. And fucking Alexander goes the whole distance with a very compelling argument that he should have won. He lost on decision, which was fucking bullshit. But everyone, like, after that fight was like, Islam's beat Alexander. He's now pound for pound number one, blah, 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 blah. And like, it came out just like this morning that in the actual tally of rankings, Alexander's accomplishments still put him as pound for pound number one.
Oh, really?
Australia wins. Fuck yeah. Go Australia.
Don't they like wrestle bears in Dagestan to like?
Yes, they do. They've wrestled bears in Dagestan.
How do you
fucking bring up Khabib?
I think I've watched the video, but like, how do you even prepare to fight against someone that wrestles bears since a
Been
child?
wrestling bears.
Khabib bear wrestle.
Yeah. Like mind you, it's a the baby one. No, not that one. Yeah. He wrestles a baby bear. And
But he's also 1997. He's also a child.
Yeah, he's wrestling a bear as a toddler.
Yeah.
The bear's currently fucking him up.
Yeah, I suppose the bear would still win.
Well, like,
That's a slightly larger bear.
yeah, it's on a chain.
Yeah, fucking hell.
1997. He's going for double leg takedown.
So he's been wrestling bears for the better part of almost 20 years.
Yeah, how could you compete with someone like that?
Is he currently the best in the world? I don't know.
Khabib.
Yeah.
No, he's retired.
Oh.
He's retired and fat.
No, he's probably fucking rich.
Yeah, well, no, he's not even. Like, he's just like, didn't want to fight anymore because he's wrestling an actual bear there.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. Oh, look at the size of that fucking bear.
Is that? That's not Khabib.
I don't know. Maybe it's not.
It might be. It might be. Oh, no, that's not Khabib.
No, that's
That
not. He's
guy's
got
long hair.
long hair and a beard. I don't know what this video is. Yeah, right. Okay.
But yeah, people. Oh, there. Guardians. Oh,
I'm not watching Guardians
no,
of the
no,
fucking
it's got that
Galaxy.
guy in it from that show.
God, our YouTube recommendations are real weird. We've got like Josh
Interesting.
Bridgman and then like shit on like Roaz. Very strange.
But yeah, why is Andrew Tate's head massive there?
Breathe air.
Breathe air.
That's
Khabib retired and got fat and living his best life, just eating, and now he hangs out with Hezbollah all the time.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
Husby.
I think I follow them both on Instagram. I don't know. I know I follow Conor McGregor. I like Conor. I don't know anything about fucking fighting, but Conor just seems like a cool person.
He is currently
Yes,
On the
yes,
He's
yes.
sauced
He
up
looks
to the
fucking
gills.
huge.
He's sauced up to the gills, and he's
Conor-
not in the USADA testing pool. So when you break your leg, you're allowed to be exempt from it because some of the medications
Yeah.
they use to heal you.
Bit of growth hormone to get you back into
Growth hormone. They take you out of the pool because
Fucking-
you'll pop up. Look at him. I've been trying to look like that for years.
All you need to do is break your leg, mate. Look at his fucking hench now.
Yeah, he's absolutely.
Look at his jaw.
Yeah.
That's him. Look at his face.
But his nose has grown.
yeah, he's
Like
fucking,
his nose has grown. Look
Oh,
at him
this
on
is
the
best
right.
photo.
Yeah, no, look at him on the right on this that other photo.
This
Up,
one?
yeah, that one. Look at him on the right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's
got-
a natural. That's a natural physique.
A big old decker head.
Like, and then now he's hinged.
Yeah.
Fucking Derek's done a
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. more
Hey
place.
guys, Derek's here for moredates.com.
Yeah. Look at his.
Look at his
arm.
quads.
Yeah, he's a big.
He's
boy.
got popped quads. He's not even flexing.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, nuts. Like, look at his quads. He's got
Yeah.
no loss of muscle.
Yeah.
He's got teardrop quads.
Oh, my legs are broken.
No, and 145, he's got no legs, and 170, he's got bodybuilder legs.
Yeah. Does he still fight? Was he retired?
He's in recovery, quote unquote recovery, and he keeps saying he's coming back. But
Is he going to come back and fight in a higher weight class?
I think he
fucking
might
have
have
to
to
now,
with
Jesus.
those fucking cyclist hench legs.
Yeah, big boy, big unit.
It's
He looks
just
good.
incredible. Like
Mm.
when you're paid to train and all that kind of shit.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
He's out of the testing pool. He's fucking living his best life, and he's hench.
Good looking fella. Have you watched Ultimate Fighter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
he just got announced as he's coaching again.
Oh, for the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, sick. Because I watched the ones where he back when they just let them drink. And just like mid 2000s, where they all just let these young guys full of testosterone and rage just get drunk and then fight each other and like piss on the beds and stuff like that. What a fucking nightmare.
There was a controversy over the weekend with Islam because with the UFC they weight cut, right?
Yeah.
So they dehydrate, all that kind of stuff, and they're not allowed. It is completely against the rules to get any kind of intravenous rehydration, which is stupid, but also it's against the rules. Anyway, Islam came out to fight, and he had like a bubble on his where you get an IV.
Yeah.
And now he's getting accused for cheating, for all that kind of shit. Mind you, that's just Australians. When we lose, we don't want to accept it. But yeah, these guys are fucking hench.
Yeah, right.
Hench.
Oh, well. All right. Well, this has been an interesting episode.
This has not been anything to do related with fitness.
Yeah,
but
this is going to be one of our shit talk episodes. Maybe we should do one of these like once a month and then...
I reckon we should do one of these once a month. No, we should
We can
do
do
one of
second
these once
show
a
if we
week
want.
and then a serious one once a month.
we can do a whole other show.
The Flash.
No, that's just another thing we have to manage. I've got too much shit to manage at the moment for another show.
Thank
fuck
you
it, we could.
a lot for listening. If
We'll
you
think
made it
about
this
it.
far, I can't even say if you found value in this one, send it to your friends. If you want to share with your friends how your coach or potential coach in the future got bullied in high school, send them
This
on.
is 51 minutes of absolute garbage.
Absolute nonsense.
But watch, I guarantee it. I'll look at the downloads and it'll perform just as well as all the others.
100%. We love our dedicated.
Actually, before we go, if you guys let us know if you want a second show where we just talk shit.
Well, just let us know what you'd prefer to listen to. Would you prefer to listen to a little bit of fitness content and shit talk, and then littered with guests and all that kind of stuff, or would you like us to rein it back in?
Yeah, we're happy to do whatever.
Happy to do whatever.
We got guests coming on next week.
oh yeah,
Yeah, Jai from Cold Water Club.
Jai from Cold Water. I got cold and Jai mixed together. It's Joel. Jai from Cold Water Club. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Bye.